Oh, Jesus.
Oh, hey, guys. Hey.
Hey, now they're back. Hey, what's up?
Noel started telling us a really boring story.
I'm bored myself.
What's the next? We're back. Hi.
Oh,
sorry about that. It had nothing to do with Dylan
No, I had
or
to,
Terry.
I had to take a nap.
The internet broke.
I feel refreshed.
The internet. And the entire
Where
internet
were
broke.
we?
We were Superman.
Last son or son of? He should have a family.
Yes.
He should have a
That's what I
family.
said that, yes.
Next question.
Kryptonian 101.
Go on.
So the idea of many different types of continuity have had him either Jonathan Kent always shows him the ship, almost always shows him the ship and like, hey, you're an alien, cry about it. But it is not always, he does not always get the rest of the information in the same way. So I want to talk about the continuity of, do you think that Clark should get all the nuts and bolts, the planet it destroyed, holograms, crystals, the everything in one fell swoop, or learn it over time, having to find the fortress or having to do this, having to do that, like a long project? Or...
Part of my Superman, hashtag my Superman, is that he goes on a journey, he goes on a quest, and through that quest of looking for his heritage, he also discovers things about the planet that he's now on. Because I don't think that a child raised in Kansas, is going to be equipped for everything he needs to protect an entire planet from just hanging out on a farm. So I like the idea that he's got to go out and seek out these answers like he did in Superman 1978, and like he did in Man of Steel, stuff like that. He's got to go on a quest to learn that stuff.
And Birthright.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's definitely got to be, it's stuff he's got to learn and encounter.
So I feel like we're all in agreement on Krypton 101.
Yeah.
Give it pieces over time as you become a better person.
Yeah.
Superboy. Should Clark, so pre-crisis Clark had a Superboy era.
Yeah.
Post-crisis Clark became Superman, wasn't like a young superhero. Do you like the idea of Clark being Superboy?
Well, this goes back to Super Baby. So my Superman was Super Baby, and now he's going to be Superboy. And also, Legion comes back, and they grab Superboy and they take him up. I love Superboy. I did not read all of this stuff from the 60s. 1960s.
Yeah.
So
that was a dubbed-in robot.
Yeah.
I did not read this from
1960s.
Yeah.
But I do love me some Superboy. I like the idea. And also, that was a fun TV show.
That was a lot of fun. That's
back in was that the 80s?
Yeah, man. That Superboy TV show was actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
that shit was
early 90s. I'm gonna vote early 90s.
Very early 90s.
What do you think? Do you like a Superboy? No.
I like the idea of Superboy, but I prefer him learn. So I think there's a version of this that is not full-on costume Superboy, but
the streak.
I hate that.
Me too.
I hate
Me too.
But putting a mask on or a red T-shirt, like kind of having a Superboy era, without full-on tights and costume.
Yeah.
And I am Superboy with a secret identity. That shit.
You know what I was digging in American Alien? Like he was just trying stuff.
Yeah.
Like his one with the goggles.
Yeah.
And let's try this. Just the idea of him like, all right, I'm gonna try and the Blur. That's what
Blur.
Anthony Medina, what's up, Tone? What's good, baby?
Also, everyone say hi to my mom, Kay
Hi,
Holden.
Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She commented, no. She does not like Superboy. She said, get the fuck out, Superboy.
All right, we're back online.
Mom thinks you're stupid.
How are the producers' knees?
Huh?
I assume those were.
Oh, let's not talk about Dylan's knees.
Yeah, Dylan is not standing up anytime soon. Now, Rod Morrow Jr. jumps in there. I like Superboy because he gives us a Legion of Superheroes. I do not think that the Legion of Superheroes is contingent on Superboy.
By the way, I just hit the router with this hammer. I didn't hit Dylan. Dylan did nothing wrong. The router.
Yeah, so if you find Dylan's body somewhere with blood, like
the router was
the router is named Dylan.
The router is Dylan's assistant.
Technically, yes.
Legion of Superheroes is not contingent on Superboy. They literally just the example of Superman, period, and then they go back and take a Superboy. Like I don't know if it's
Yeah, it's not contingent, but a lot of that stuff it works.
Yeah,
because they're so young and he's so young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes them a little bit more relatable to each
Yeah.
other. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be either way.
but now we got young John and
Yeah,
Connor
you got Connor and young,
Supergirl.
yeah. Oh,
Like,
they got all kinds
they
of
can
them.
hang out with the Legion.
Give me all of them children.
I don't really care for the Legion, just as a story. It's just never clicked for me.
There's too many goddamn Legionnaires for me to keep track
See,
of.
that's part of the joke.
I don't like
it's
when
not-
it. Maybe I don't like when it happens.
1,000 years in the future.
No. In Clark's age.
Oh.
Because he's what? He's a
Like
kid.
16.
He's like Superboy
So
age, right?
are you?
Because then when he comes back, then
Superboy.
does he know everything there is to know?
The question is Superboy. Do you like it when Clark has a Superboy era, or more modern when Clark actually just older becomes Superman?
I like the Earth One approach to this.
Which was?
He essentially goes through college as like a boy. Well,
No
it's like
officially
I don't like
boyish
Superboy.
things.
I don't like a public Superboy.
You don't like this cat, this little kid in a Superboy costume.
That's not a little boy. That's a
Yeah.
man.
That
Oh,
is
yes, man.
Superman. They have drawn Superman
Yeah, I don't know what
Well,
they did
that's-
there.
for the
That's a
Superboy comic
grown-ass
book.
Superman right there.
But you know what I mean.
You know, barrel chested. That's like a 58-year-old Superboy.
But look, kids looked older back
He's like
then.
James Caan as Superboy.
He does look like he's got like a pack of cigarettes in his hand. Anyway, we're talking about something no one can see.
Anthony Medina says, I always saw the Legion as a rite of passage for the super family. And then he continues, Jeff Johns' version of In Secret Origin
Yeah.
is probably my fave.
It's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
very
The other
good.
one that was drawn
Oh, I
by
forgot about that.
Gary Frank.
Gary Frank.
Gary
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah.
He
Excellent
cannot draw
miniseries.
children, but his Superman is wonderful.
Excellent
Children were
miniseries
terrifying.
and
Not as bad as John Burns.
excellent miniseries, and he did the Legion arc
Yes.
in Jeff Johns' Superman,
True to.
where Clark doesn't remember
Yeah.
spending time with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Legion because of reboot fuckery,
Yeah.
which I think is a good way to like approach it. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
So I think we all fall on the except you.
I like
you,
Superboy.
You want that kid in
I-
a
I don't-
costume.
I don't
We don't
need
want
it.
kids in
Yeah.
costumes.
I don't need.
Okay.
I like the old stuff, but I don't need it.
See, you know what it is? You know what it is about Superboy that I like, if I could just real quick. You know how I say I
Sure.
like Robins? I like Robins more than I like Batman, because Batman, you've got a fully formed superhero.
Yeah.
The Robins are eternally figuring it out. So I like the idea of figuring out how to superhero. And I think with Superboy, you get more of that trial and error than you would with Superman,
But I still think
depending on the writer. But
we get that with 4 other characters in the super family. It doesn't have to be Clark specifically that had a
the other characters that you're getting it from are looking to Superman as their go-to. Superboy is someone who's on Earth, and there has never been anyone like him on Earth, and he is having to figure this all out by himself with no one to look up to.
Except the
So-
Legionnaires.
So I agree
And
with
when
that.
they show up,
I agree with that, but I don't like the full-on branded costume teenager. He could still do his lessons, put on little like disguise himself how he wants to or
Yeah.
can and try and help people, but it's a learning curve as opposed to out of the box. I've got branding and a costume and I'm a superhero as a young kid.
That was
Like
the thing that
I
made
don't really care for.
Grant Morrison's action really cool.
Yeah.
Was that he was still relatively young,
yeah,
but he was doing his thing, and it was like, and he brought the Legion into that. But by then he was already Superman, but he was
Yeah.
still young enough that they had hung out and whatever, but he never actually was out in the streets as Superboy.
Mhm.
He just had
Yeah.
his cool T-shirts and whatnot.
yeah.
which
I love the T-shirt
I
with the cape
love
and
that.
the
I
jeans.
love the idea of
love
him
that.
figuring it out and training, and then kind of like outing himself,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Let's meet in the middle. Let's say Superboy. He's not Superboy. He's Clark Kent getting his powers. But then when the Legion comes and pulls them in the future, then he becomes Superboy in the future. And then when he comes back, he can become Superman.
okay, so he's Superboy somewhere else.
Yeah.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
The only Superboy I like is Superboy Prime,
Oh, I love that dude. He will push your face out of the back of
who
your head.
does go through a time warp and come back as Superman Prime. So there you go.
Yeah. I love that. The
Next.
next one, number 8, Lex in Smallville.
All right.
This one's been a bit of a roller coaster. When we started watching Smallville as a high school, sorry, blah, blah, that's dumb. Lex's inclusion into Clark's adolescence has gone back and forth through continuity. There's versions of it where they literally are in school together. He's the reason he lost his hair. And then there's other versions where, you know, like maybe they brushed paths or he never went to Smallville or Lex denies he's ever been there. So like, where do you fall on them having some sort of pre-established relationship pre the arch nemesis of it all?
My introduction to Lex Luthor was a record that came with a comic book, I think, and it was acted out. It was like a full production.
No, I had those.
And it, you know, it was the time where Clark and Lex were friends. I believe, was he Superboy? He may have actually been Superboy at the time.
Yeah.
So, and Lex had a full head of red hair. He was doing all sorts of sciencey shit. And then because of something that Lex Luthor did, he winds up losing all of his hair, but blaming Superboy for whatever went wrong.
There was a fire. What happened was there was something. There was smoke coming out of his lab, and Superboy uses super breath to blow it out.
Yeah.
And whatever the chemicals were and whatever is what made Lex go bald.
Yeah.
And that made him crazy enough to be like, you need to die.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dedicate the rest of my existence and all of my resources forever to you dying.
Yeah. So to wrap that up, even as a kid, I was like, that is petty as hell. So I do like the idea of like him being in Smallville and maybe growing to hate Superboy or Superman as he goes, but I don't know if I need them to be friends because that's petty as shit. I like the Lex who is really, he wants to help the world, but he wants everyone to know that he did it.
Yeah.
And this dude coming out with all this power fucks him up. So I don't need them to know each other, but I don't mind him being in Smallville earlier.
I'm almost indifferent because like I don't think in a world of like Elons and Bezos and people that have just power to wield in regards to everything from politics to consumerism, you don't need to make like these contrived story connections between characters. They could just kind of exist on their own and then become opposing forces.
It's one of the I think the problems with John Byrne's Chapter 1 of Spider-Man, when he tried to interconnect every single character into the one experiment that goes badly, that gives Spider-Man the powers, also created Dr. Octopus. And like, you don't got to do all that.
Like it's not hard to imagine somebody with control issues and enough power to put machinations in play has a problem with this person getting in their way constantly. Like that is not something I need 10 issues of backstory when they met as kids in order to wrap my head around. So I'm not exactly sure it really matters.
I don't want them to meet as kids. I did like that he loses his hair because an alien shows up, which makes him think, oh, there are aliens, and pushes him on this path. My favorite Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor, the hero. He in his head thinks he's a hero, and for the most part is straight up a hero. When it comes to taking care of humans versus anything else, there's a hero there. You understand what he's doing. So I like his venom being against otherworld alien, not Superman personally. Like I like that he's like, you cannot trust this thing. It is from another world. Trust me, I'm gonna get rid of it. Watch me do it with this big ass gun.
See, I
just think it's a stronger character.
My issue with every version of Lex is the idea is that he is so extraordinarily petty that you have to see that this person is only out here trying to help you all out. That's it. And the fact that you're like, no, I'm the one that helps you out. That I do this, and not because he's a hero, but because I'm the only one capable. The rest of you are beneath me. None of you are smart enough. None of you are clever enough. I'm the only one that can do this. See, I like that. So you guys, y'all gotta, just let me handle it. I'm in charge. Y'all just.
Yeah, Terry's a villain. That's a positive to him.
No. It's a better. I think it's just a better version of Lex. Yeah. Of like, hey, I'm gonna save you whether you want me to or not. So get the fuck out of my way and let me do my job.
Hot take time. Go. My favorite Lex, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
what?
You know what? I will say that too. Like, I'll
for anyone who didn't hear him whisper the name
Jesse Eisenberg.
So I like that version of Lex a lot. I like that version of Lex a lot because it is a physically feeble man who has, with his power and influence and intellect, been able to control literally every scenario that can be imagined under the sun, except
for this thing.
Yeah.
And that is jealousy, that is greed, that is literally every one of the 7 deadly sins just rolled up into.
And it is all perfectly showcased at the party.
And
he doesn't, look, he goes like that real quick. It's like, oh my god! Like,
and the thing that makes it coolest is it's all of that. Plus, he's as nuts as Golden Age. You blew all my hair out, so I'm going to dedicate my life to killing you forever. Lex, like it's an amazing combination of all of the Lexes, like just sort of smashed together into this little weirdo. I love that. And you see at the end of BVS when he's chilling on the boat, bald as shit. That's when you're getting that Lex, Lex.
That's the Lex that gets his. That got
that's the Lex. That's the Lex with the big suit. With the big
cool to see.
But I agree. But we shouldn't sidetrack too many because we still got a couple left.
Anthony Medina says Lex would have been the Reed Richards of DC if not for the pettiness and ego.
Although Reed Richards sometimes has pettiness and egoism that almost kills everyone.
He also is evil in the Ultimate Universe. So
yes.
The Kents, dead or alive.
Okay, one dead, one alive. The best way that they've ever done that is Pa Kent in Superman 1978, grabbing his arm, falling over dead because he does, oh no. He says, oh no, and it gets me. And he falls over dead because of a heart attack, letting Superman know that no matter how much power you have, you cannot save everyone. But then keep Ma around.
I agree with that. I
agree.
I think
instead of a heart attack, that would be a fart attack, and he dies of embarrassment.
I think it's very important for him to learn a lesson that he can't control. He can't be a god. He can't control life and death when it's something that it's actually
even though he could.
He can't stop his father's heart attack.
He could.
How?
Scientifically, he could.
A 17-year-old, not
17-year-olds
when this happens, like.
In every story?
No, but I liked it better when Jeff Johns did it.
Yeah, when he was older.
The Brainiac stuff.
But he couldn't come back fast enough. Like he heard his father's heartbeat.
Yeah, between
that I loved. Yeah,
between that one and Grant Morrison in All Star, same basic concept. He's like
the idea
trying to get there.
Yeah, the idea of him not being able to save his father, I think, is incredibly powerful. Not because it's a choice not to save his father over someone else, but because he still just can't be everything. Yeah. Because he's not a god.
But I do love having Ma Kent around as a sounding board, as someone that he can go home and talk to.
Isn't there a version where they in a car crash, they both die or something?
That was in Grant Morrison in Action. And I didn't mind that either because for the longest time, they were both dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just had to handle. Like, all right, You got what you needed as much as you could from them. The rest of the shit you got to figure out on your own, and that's you know what I mean. That's powerful.
I kind of like Superman in pain too.
Yeah,
I like Superman in pain over human reasons. Right? He's gonna outlive everybody.
The most
I like when he's
still
dealing with that
what
stuff.
He can do; it's what he restricts himself from doing, and that he has human emotions
and laser eyes.
Yeah.
And it's the second most important.
That is the pod death best scene.
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah, we like to kill Podcast. Just kill him.
I would like to see, and again, this is probably from my own sort of weird growth. I would like to see a version of Superman where Ma Kent dies first.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I would be down with that too.
I would love to see Jonathan have to step up and be like, oh shit, all right, now I gotta raise this kid on my own. Fuck, all right, cool. And handle. I would love to see that.
I'd like the dynamic of early enough in life, one parent just dying of natural causes or something that Superman can't prevent, and then having to kind of figure out what life is like with that void. Right. It doesn't matter if it's Martha or John, because I think in modern storytelling, you could probably make either one of them just as important as to what kind of lessons and or what they're communicating about their deceased spouse. Like there's a lot of, in these versions, there's a lot of things that Clark learns about his Pa Kent from her
Hmm.
because he was a teenager. Like
Yeah.
there are conversations you have with your parent that you have later in life because they're a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
Imagine one or the other doing it. Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Next.
Actually, let's go into express mode too.
Who made the suit?
What?
Ma.
Kryptonian, the cave or the fortress. Like who made the suit?
I like Ma
It has
making the
been
suit.
everywhere.
Because when I was a kid, the S was just an S. As far as I was aware, S was for Superman, and Ma Kent made it for him. And that was his name. But then later on, it's like, oh, it stands for hope, and also it's the symbol of the House of L for some reason. So I like the Ma Kent making it. It's cheesy superhero stuff.
I'm going mom too.
I like it being
Out of the blankets.
Kryptonian
That's
garb.
right.
I like it being like Kryptonian, specific like Kryptonian
Yeah.
garb. Like
The L
Yeah,
house.
but yeah,
I
that means a
prefer
little
that.
bit more to me.
Yeah.
because it's not just like I'm not diminishing it because I like the superhero-y of it,
Mhm.
but it's not. My mom made it for me. I'm honoring a legacy that I did not experience but want to.
Yeah, I'm of this
Yeah.
as well as all this other Earth shit. Yeah. I'm a little bit better with that too. And I think the next question is does the S stand for anything?
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
again-
not an S, or is it? Is it a family? What do you prefer? A family crest, a symbol of hope, the Kryptonian flag, some combination? Like, because it sure does look like a letter S.
It sure
It's
does.
like an English letter.
I like the family crest.
Yeah.
I think that shit that's fucking powerful to me. Like, what I mean? Not all I got is this reps me forever across the cosmos. My people, yeah, give me that. That shit's dope.
I think that's really cool too. I like, people get tattoos of their fucking coat of arms and all kinds of shit. It's more reasonable to me. And then I like the version of it that they don't show. That's like, so like behind you is the very more curvy S. I kind of like, as a family crest, I kind of dig like, say the Kingdom Come.
Oh,
Come, John.
that
Yeah.
Kingdom Come is
I
my
was just gonna
favorite.
say that,
It's
and that's
literally
why.
just like
But
a
that's
straight
why
line.
it needs to be an S.
Yeah.
Because I'm Superman, but I am Dark Superman.
What?
The black. They bring the black into
No,
the
fuck the
emblem.
black. Just the
way
that it is.
design of it.
I don't think it needs to.
See, I like it. I like it being defined like I'm badass now.
I'm not talking about it as a character motivation. I'm just talking about the difference between a squiggle or a straight line.
Oh, I hear you.
Whether it's got yellow or black behind it or not. I think it needs to be slightly more glyph-ish.
It's better with a U.
Oh yeah, like
Ultraman.
Ultraman. Well, also Zod's is cooler too.
Yeah.
With the fucking circle thing and the.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like it as family crest. Are we all on family crest?
Actually, but
Sure.
I will
No?
say
You
that
feeling it?
probably my favorite of the last 10 years is the yin and yang King Kong joke.
Oh, that's pretty.
That
cool.
shit is fire. Oh
I
my
need to read
god.
The
That
Superman.
shit, yeah.
Super
That
Dash
thing
Man.
is so bananas. When they put that out, I was like, oh my god, this should have been it from the gate.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Isn't the material strong? Says Robert Monroe Jr. If so, how did she sew the outfit together?
Yeah, that was one of those things that were just like because.
Yeah.
But I like tattered suit Superman. So I like
That is
that
pretty
it
cool.
can break.
Yeah.
They don't do that like on any character anymore other than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Everyone's got like a super suit.
Where is my
Spider-Man has a super
Does
suit.
anybody do you want to
Done. Next.
Done.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Journalism, passion or convenience? Passion.
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 Go. Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Done.
straight up passion. He's a smart man. 13.
He's the smartest man.
Lois, duped or part of the origin?
Duped.
The
Duped.
Clark Lois Superman triangle has been a quintessential component of the origin story for decades. Duped.
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 A man spit and get
Right?
She's way too fucking smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's way too smart.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things about Man of Steel is the idea that she was like, wait, hold the fuck up. And just sort of
Oh, following
step by
the ghost.
step,
Yeah.
just sort of peels
Yeah.
back the layers. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that. She's a genius, right? She's this is what she does for a living. If anybody's gonna figure that shit out, it's gonna be her.
Yeah.
Right. First.
Yeah, you're right.
I like that too. So for this isn't in the that's all 13. This isn't a new one, but I like the Clark over Kal-El of it all because he was raised here. It's nature or nurture over nature for how you act. I like when Lois falls in love with Clark and it becomes something he has to bring her in on, and then she helps with that. So like that's the partial duped. I'm not showing you my full self, and then it's being something she figures out, and then it's a co-sharing thing of this secret.
Yeah, I don't think eternally duped, but I think at the very beginning,
for a
him
while,
trying to protect
for
her.
a while,
they ran that shit to the fucking ground.
Well, of course.
I mean, I suppose you sort of had to, given the storytelling of the time.
Yeah.
It made for some terrible stuff.
Yeah, it's
like,
super gaslight.
Yo,
Superman.
your
Like,
man
he's
was
just
like,
manipulating the
yo,
shit
some
out
of
her for a
the
while.
best, like some of the random covers,
Yeah.
like, and like if you read the actual story, he was sort of like he was doing this as part of the story. He didn't really feel this way, but he was like, I can't believe you're so dumb, Lois. Like, it was like around the cover of the book. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Yo, it was bananas. And I just amazed me that she put up with this for so long. It was like,
but that's one of the things I like about the Superman character is he's got all of this power, but then he's also a little problematic because he has to lie to some of the people in his life to protect them. You know, so he's not perfect. He doesn't always make the best decisions. But that sort of grounds him for me as a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, you got to choose between what's right and what's easy.
Yeah,
which is why I really like the truth arc and Bendis is wrong.
Yeah,
facts, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that shit was
you dedicate
so
your life to
dope.
Truth.
Yeah, right. I love that shit. I do like how they did the John. I don't mind
afterwards.
I don't mind how they put the genie back in the bottle, but
because it became something that they took away from him as opposed to something
that just
he's hiding from somebody.
That shit was fantastic.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, how they put it back in the bottle?
No, the whole concept. The whole concept. I want him to have a secret identity.
Well,
no, he does now.
He does now.
Again, yeah, but I mean, the point of the story, the truth, was to remove it for a little bit, right?
Yeah. But I love.
I'm glad they put it back in.
I like how they did that.
How they did that.
That was cool. Like it wasn't his choice.
I can't remember. Did Lex do it to himself too?
No,
I doubt it.
He knows.
All right, so Lex. Okay, all right.
With you, Anthony.
Oof! I hated truth, says Anthony. It's so perfectly Superman.
Yeah. It was probably the most Superman thing I've ever read. Just the idea of like
perfect.
That and the fact that he was like, I don't need to lie to you anymore. And there's this sort of a little bit of an undercurrent of
I dare you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
fuck with mine.
Yeah.
And
see what happens.
Something might happen. Cool.
I think this S stands for France.
One of my favorite little side pieces or side parts of that too was side pieces. Bruce Batman got real butthurt because he finally kind of for a while got over the fact that this person is in every way stronger than me.
Yeah.
And now we're equals, but then he did the one thing that Bruce
could never do.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that bugged the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like he was not talking to Clark for a while.
Yeah.
And it was like, you gotta give him a minute.
And he was like, you're like, not only do you have like the perfect wife and you got a fucking kid, and now you can just be out here in the street like you motherfucker.
You literally can do absolutely everything I can't, and you even took this from me. I can need a minute.
I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna skip the next couple of Justice League meetings. Fuck you.
I'm just gonna show me like
Tower of Babel time.
This could have been an email.
Nice.
This could have been an email.
Here, I brought you this ruby.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. That's our Superman chat. Happy birthday, Superman. We love you.
Hey.
Arson, the voice of reason, where can people find you?
BoomBapTherapy.com. Anything that you want to hear of mine is there. Not to mention the fact Gangstagraphs will be in Gunnison, Colorado this Saturday. We live. Getting it in.
There it is.
Oh, we had this one. Gunnison, Colorado at Western State University. We rocking out. Gangstagraphs live. We in here.
No,
Yeah, you can find me on the social medias, all of the social medias. That's at CultPopGo or CultPopGo. I don't fucking know. At Mr. Bartocci, MrBartocci, or Noel the Writer. Is that my website? NoelTheWriter.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can hang out with me at my comic shop. You know where it is. I said at the beginning of the show. But we also
This is a new stream. Say it again.
These two guys. Oh, that is it. That's right. Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. It's a comic shop in Philadelphia. Come to it. Also, Wednesday mornings we do a show called Fresh Floppies.
Fresh Floppies.
Where we talk spoiler-free about the books that dropped today, so you can listen to it on your way to your local comic shop and maybe get some good recommendations on your drive.
Reread.
Hey, what's up, Bob? Yeah, you got to come through next time. Go up. We'll be in Staten Island next weekend. Come through. Boom.
Dude, I grew up in Saratoga Springs, so I know all about Schenectady.
So you guys know each other.
Yeah. I'm Terry. I own the Video Content Factory, and I like doing podcasts. So watch them here on the YouTubes.
Robert Monroe Jr. says Fresh Floppies was good today. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. We finally did a good one.
Check out. Yeah, you got. Do you guys know about No One?
I heard about that book. It looks kind of cool. It looks pretty
It's
dope.
got a podcast.
Read the issue
to go along with
listen
it.
to the podcast. In the issue, in the comic,
Starring Rachel Lee Cook.
in universe, it is in universe. It is a investigative
NPR.
journalist who gets strong-armed into doing a podcast about the case that they're working on, and then you could listen to the real podcast.
It's amazing.
It's good as
It's
shit.
so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for hanging out with us. See you next Wednesday.
Stop.
when we do-
Two things. One, that's JD's new logo on his hat,
Oh yeah.
and I
hey.
think it's really cool.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
But two, next
Oh.
week we have to do a pre-record. So we're going to do it about The Mandalorian because Dylan and I have to go off and do a big TV studio production. So we're going to do a pre-record. However, the boys, we're going to do it through this platform that you guys can still leave live comments. And I'm sure the boys will hop on and comment
Oh
with
yeah,
you
we'll be commenting
of
with
what
you.
we recap.
So
So it
definitely
is
hang
going to
out.
be pre-recorded, but it'll be live and that you can still talk to everybody. Okay.
We'll be
So we hope you enjoy it. We're not going to talk back to you in camera, but we'll talk to you in the comments. All right. Thank you so much.
And
Judy,
we will,
now you can close the show.
now
Sorry.
we'll talk at you later.
Yeah.